Keima Katsuragi, known online as the legendary God of Conquest, can conquer any girl's heart in dating sim games, at least. In reality, he opts for the two-dimensional world of gaming over real life, because he is an unhealthily obsessed otaku of gouge games, a type of Japanese video game centered on interactions with attractive girls. When he arrogantly accepts an anonymous offer to prove his supremacy at dating sim games, Keima is misled into aiding a naive and impish demon from hell named Alicia, Elsie, to elude Ima with her mission, retrieving runaway evil spirits who have escaped from hell and scattered themselves throughout the human world. Keima discovers that the only way to capture these spirits is to conquer what he hates the most, the unpredictable hearts of three-dimensional girls. Shackled to Elsie via a deadly collar, Keima now has his title of God of Conquest put to the ultimate test, as he is forced to navigate through the hearts of a multitude of real-life girls. Will Keima be able to carry out his mission of being the conqueror of the girls? Keep watching till the end. Without Keima knowing, he has made a contract with a demon. He must carry out his mission if he doesn't want his head to dislodge. His first mission is to make his classmate, Ayumi, fall in love with him. But Keima can't do that because he can only conquer women's hearts in games. That left Elsie in deep shock, because if Keima didn't succeed in carrying out his mission, then she would die too. Keima felt that he could not do the mission because according to him, Ayumi did not qualify as a runner. She had to tie her hair and also wear shorts. Elsie immediately made Ayumi look like Keima wanted, had no reason to complain anymore. Keima put up a banner to encourage Ayumi, but he gets hit by a death kick. Keima continued to do the same for several days, but Ayumi never fell in love with him, making Keima despair because the results were very different from the game. Upper class appears and scolds Ayumi for using the field before her turn, making Ayumi punished for running 30 laps. The following morning, Keima comes as usual to cheer Ayumi on. Suddenly Ayumi has an incident that causes her leg to sprain. Elsie feels hopeless because if Ayumi fails to enter the race, then their efforts to conquer Ayumi's heart also failed. At night, Keima invites Ayumi to meet up. It turns out that Keima already knows that Ayumi is only pretending to be injured. Ayumi reveals that she is actually not confident in her abilities, so she prefers to withdraw from the race. In that way, Keima motivates Ayumi and seduces her. But otherwise, Keima disgusts her and throws him the fruit that Keima gave her earlier. In the fruit basket, there are shoes that Keima gave as a gift to Ayumi. When Ayumi wanted to say thank you, they accidentally kissed, which made the runaway spirit out of Ayumi's heart until Elsie could catch it. Ayumi won first place in the running competition, and she lost her memory of the capture. Elsie suddenly appeared in front of the class claiming to be Keima's younger sister. Because of that, she decided to live together with Keima. Keima's mother was surprised when Elsie claimed to be the illegitimate daughter of her husband. Of course, it made Keima's mother furious, and forbade her husband to come home. The letter that Elsie gave to Keima's mother succeeded in convincing her to accept Elsie to live with him. But not with Keima. He still didn't recognize Elsie as his younger sister, because according to Keima, being a younger sister had to have blood relations, memories in his life, or doing good. For that, Elsie treated Keima by forcing him to taste the delicious food that had been served, but the food looked terrible. Even so, Elsie still crammed it into Keima's mouth. Besides, Elsie also cleaned the house because she had 300 years of experience for the job. When she wanted to show her broom skills, it was a disaster. Even because the food caused Keima to have diarrhea. Keima began to consider that Elsie was qualified to be his little sister. Suddenly the power went out, and he was surprised by the presence of Elsie, who entered the bath. Apparently Elsie just wanted to rub Keima's back. She insists on being Keima's little sister because she also has an older sister who is a true demon, whereas she can only do cleaning jobs. So, when she gets the task of catching runaway spirits, it makes her happy. Keima finally accepted Elsie as his younger sister, the reason being that he also had to work together to recapture the spirits that were in the area. Just now things had calmed down. Elsie watched Keima's favorite PSP. At break time, Elsie is interested in buying sandwiches at a stand, but her hairpin ringing, which means there is a spirit around. That a rich girl, Mio, immediately buys up all the sandwiches that are sale. Elsie is pessimistic that this mission will be very difficult. On the other hand, Keima thought that this time it would be easy because he felt that Mio was a gentle girl. He tried to confess his feelings to Elsie, which immediately melted her heart. Keima revised his plan because he felt something was missing. He continued to simulate a love confession to Elsie, who immediately melted when she heard his words. The following day, Keima put into practice what he had planned for Mio, but instead, he was beaten up by the driver. Elsie followed Mio with her shawl, and it turned out that Mio's residence was just a simple apartment. The driver asked Mio to stop pretending to be rich because she is not as rich as he used to be when his father was still alive. But Mio still insisted on spending her money to buy sandwiches. The driver tried to advise her, but was ignored, which made the driver quit from his job. Keima, who had been eavesdropping, was finally caught. Out of shame, Mio left Keima just like that. Keima has an idea to make a plan to approach Mio even though he has been caught spying on her, and he will keep Mio's secret. The following morning, Keima picks up Mio like a driver. He will escort Mio to the school. Mio initially refused, but when the bicycle being changed in appearance by Elsie, Mio finally wanted to be escorted by Keima. Day by day, Keima takes Mio to school using a bicycle. Every day the bicycle continues to transform until it becomes like a train. Until Keima is exhausted from pedaling too hard, Mio forces him to return to work by whipping Keima. Mio can laugh out loud seeing Keima's behavior, but the laughter vanished and she returned home with a sour face. Keima followed her home and found a letter that looked like an invitation. One afternoon, Mio was waiting for Keima to come pick her up. Then Keima appeared on his bicycle. The two of them attended the party that was on the invitation. Instead of being in the middle of the party, they were in the backyard. Apparently Keima asked Mio to teach him to dance. Then a group of people came who mocked Mio, who wasn't as rich as she used to be because her father had died. Keima advised Mio to forget her father and live as she should. No need to act like a rich person. Keima wanted to see the smile on Mio's face again, but Keima was punched because his father's memories had faded since his presence. Keima convinced Mio to choose his life path, and they kissed. It made the runaway spirit in Mio's heart come out, and was immediately caught by Elsie. Mio's personality has changed since that incident, but unfortunately her memories with Keima are also lost. Keima is so addicted to playing a game that he ignores the people around him. Even he continues to play despite being scolded by the teacher. He seems to give up for the game. It was very difficult to finish because there was a bug in one of the scenes. People gave up playing the game, but Keima was not the same as them because he was the god of conquest. He kept trying and asking Elsie for help to solve the problem. The biggest problem was that Keima had to start the game all over again because he couldn't save the data. Hearing that, Elsie chose to run away but was stopped by Keima. He kept playing the game until he lost track of time until the evening. Although there is no progress, but Keima is still ambitious to finish the game so that he knows the ending. Elsie suggested to complain to the game developer. Unfortunately, the company has gone bankrupt because no one played it except Keima. That's why he is the god of conquest. Musk was able to know the ending after he played it back. Keima finally managed to find out the ending, but unlike what he imagined, the ending fell apart. Even though he was emotional and frustrated, he was determined to find out more about the game. Elsie watches a music show because she really likes her idol artist, Nakagawa Cannon, but Keima doesn't care about it at all and only focuses on games. According to him, idols are just the successors of the previous generation that are getting older, different from games that are getting longer more good. The following day, the students seemed to be getting ready to wait for someone to arrive. Elsie was surprised to learn that Nakagawa Cannon would come to her school. As usual, Keima was playing games on the school roof. Without his realized, Cannon came muttering after she won the award as a new artist. Cannon tried to talk to Keima, who was focused on playing the game. Keima admitted he didn't recognize her. Because she was annoyed, Cannon electrocuted him with a shock device. Elsie came, and was so happy to see Cannon right in front of her. She asked for an autograph using Keima's PSP. Elsie was angry that Keima didn't tell her that Cannon was in the same class as them. Keima reiterated that he didn't care about worthless idols, got him electrocuted again. Still feeling irritated, Kanon took out 2 shock devices which scared Keima, but Kanon left them after Keima told her his name. Elsie informs that the runaway spirit is in Kanon's body. Kanon is determined to beat Keima. Her purpose is to make Keima liked idol. Keima gets a CD from Kanon which contains a message asking him to meet up on the rooftop. Kanon had prepared the stage for her to sing in front of Keima and made Keima one of her fans. But all that effort was in vain because Keima prefers to play games. Just before Keima was electrocuted, Kanon got a call for her work and asked Keima to come to the same place the next day. Kanon reappeared in front of Keima with her new song, but the result was still the same. Even Keima fell asleep, making Kanon feel so frustrated that she disappeared slowly. A few moments later, she reappeared with an annoyed face. Keima tried to praise her performance, but Kanon knew that Keima lied, almost got him electrocuted again. Keima tried to compliment her a second time, made Kanon's body fully visible again, and then left him. During Kanon's performance, Keima had analyzed the thing that was bothering Kanon. For that, he asked Elsie to find out more information about Kanon. Kanon, who looked still gloomy, was able to cheer up again after she heard the song. Keima and Elsie saw a TV show that would feature Kanon's concert. Her concentration was slightly disturbed when she saw someone ignoring her during the concert. Keima and Elsie realized that. Elsie took the initiative to go to the TV station to help Kanon, but she was blown away by a strong wind and ended up in a crowd of Kanon fans. When Elsie came home, she was scolded for going out late at night, as well as Keima, who was scolded for not being able to tell her sister. Elsie got interesting information about Kanon. It turns out that Kanon used to be a member of a 3-member girl group. Their initial goal was to promote group leader, but instead Kanon was more popular. As a result, their girl group disbanded. Keima was tired of waiting for Kanon's arrival. Apparently she didn't plan to come because she was busy with her work. Keima sent her a message saying that he would go to Kanon's shooting location and meet there. Kanon with an invisible body could return to normal after Keima complimented her. Kanon asked Keima to keep texting her because she felt she had no friends at school. Keima agreed with that. It made Keima more and more annoyed because Kanon kept asking to meet up. After a few days, Kanon asked Keima to meet because she was going to have a grand concert. Keima listened to Kanon's song that made her happy, but Keima still doubted whether he could conquer her heart. A staff reported that Kanon was missing. Then the scene showed Kanon's past 2 years ago, when she was still in a girl group, where the 3 of them wanted to have a concert at that place. In present, Keima was determined to find Kanon in order to prove himself as the god of conquest. Apparently Kanon became invisible because she was reminded of the past, which caused her to lose the confidence to appear in front of the audience. When Keima started desperate to find Kanon, Elsie had a brilliant idea. She would use the loose soul sensor to find Kanon. Not far from there, Keima managed to find Kanon, who still looked depressed. Keima already knew Kanon's feelings, and he convinced her to be herself without needing to look back at the past. Keima's words brought Kanon to her senses. After hearing the roar of the audience from inside the hall, Kanon regained her confidence to continue the concert, but before that, she came back to thank and kiss Keima, automatically forcing the runaway spirit in her heart to get out. Elsie rushed to catch the runaway spirit. Before entering the concert stage, Kanon saw a bouquet of flowers from her 2 best friends. She managed to put on a spectacular show that wowed the audience present. Keima still didn't change his point of view about idol, but he thought Kanon was no longer an idol but a shining star. That's the recap of the anime. The World God Only Knows. Episodes 1 to 7. If you're curious about the next episode, please check the description column. That's all. I hope you're always healthy and see you again.